to all our viewers and listeners. Good morning to everyone. Today is Monday, the 26th of February 2024. Our time is 09:15. Stream. What prompted you to practice your English today, Mang Wino? Well, I just come across a news item today or yesterday that one of our lawmakers in Congress or in the lower house proposed a banning of dubbing English movies shown in televisions or in, because at the moment almost all of the shows shown in TV are dubbed in Filipino. So it's very difficult to find English programs now. So he proposed that it should be banned and for certain types of movies or certain type of shows. It should not be banned. It should be probably subtitled, but not dubbed. His reason was the steep deterioration of the English language skills of the Bobas. Right now we have deteriorated very rapidly. So anyway, so today we will try to find a history and maybe dissect, we will break down how we came about this situation, and maybe try to find some better solutions, especially about the Filipino language. But anyway, so that is my topic for today, for today's live broadcast. Today, I said, okay, let's cooperate with this lawmaker. So we'll have a Monday practice English. What is the history of this? When do you think Mang Wino, this started the deterioration of speaking English? Well, actually, Long after the Spaniards came the Americans, and of course the English was introduced as a language here in the Philippines. But we cannot really say, because I don't have a solid data, how much of the population speak English at that time. It has been claimed that a lot, or almost everybody, or maybe 90% or so, can understand English. So understanding and speaking fluently are two different things. You might understand, but you would not be able to speak it. You understand it. So there is since from the very beginning of colonialization. Unfortunately, these foreign languages like Spanish and English has been connected to colonizers. So it has a very in the history of Philippines learning these languages because of the colonizers. So it has a negative connotations, and this also is connected to if you speak Spanish at the time during the Spanish colonization, or is you are looked at like you are a social climber or something, you know, because these are the languages used by the elite and mostly spoken only in Manila. There was a very few or small intermarriages that Spanish was not really spoken throughout the archipelago. It's not spoken throughout. If you compare the Philippines to some other countries that was colonized before by the Spaniards, like Mexico or some other Latin American countries, they all speak Spanish now, and they lost their maybe some of their original or indigenous languages. Unlike here, it was preserved. It was not lost, and they are still used today. Philippines have about Philippines has more than 150 languages. Okay? Philippines has more than 150 languages. It's not dialect, no? It's a language. It's now been determined that it's a language, not a dialect. Because dialect is just the same language spoken in a different tone. But you still use the same words and the same maybe there is just a difference in how you pronounce it or something like that. You know, your own version of let's say a certain language. So oops, sorry. Messages. But today, so wait lang. And of course, so at that time when we speak English and we speak Spanish and English, and we gained our independence, there was this movement towards speaking the local or our own languages. headlines. Wait, because I did not prepare this topic ahead of time. I'm sorry. So we'll just do the today, the story of Filipino language. Wanderlust, hello, good morning. Today, Monday, the 26th of February 2024, we are going to do an English Monday exercise. So, my live stream will be spoken all throughout, only in English. In the chat, I would not be so strict in the chat, but the spoken language today is English. One last 1, 2, 3 said, "Oh no, my goodness." Yes, that's why we are going to discuss the story of the Filipino language and how we come about into this situation where there is a very steep deterioration of the English language in the Philippines. So first, maybe we have to do some background history, a brief history and backgrounds. On the development of the languages here, especially the foreign language here in the Philippines, no? So, as I was telling before, as I have said before, as I have just said, Philippines has about 150 plus languages. Before, it was just they say, oh, dialects, we have plenty of dialects. No. In today's studies and research, these are languages. These are not dialects. These are languages. 150. Indonesia has almost 700 plus languages. It seems that I'm in the classroom. Wanderlust 1, 2, 3. Well, it's a little bit of that way, no? Because this part of the chat will be about the Filipino language and so on. So it's a little bit of a lecture, storytelling, something like that. We will try to make it lively. I will try to make it lively. Okay. And this idea that I would speak Monday practice today came about, or I have this idea when I ran across a news item the other day, wherein one of our Solons or lawmaker in Congress proposed in Congress to ban dubbing of English movies shown in televisions. Because today, what is the current state of our television today? It's very difficult to find English movies now here. Almost everything is dubbed in Filipino. That's why there is a very drastic deterioration of how we use the English language in the Philippines. And that's one of his reasons. And another one is, of course, for today's social life and especially our economic development, is dependent on the English language. Well, not really dependent, but we use also the English language, no? So I will try to break it down, because speaking English has a very, very different connotations here in the Philippines, and that's why I'm trying to have this history first of why we snub people also that is speaking English, because we have these presumptions, or some what they call this mistaken understanding about the English language or any other foreign languages. That is rooted at the time when we were colonized. So we have this colonization period, and the elites or those colonizers, which projected themselves as superior, they are superior, and the natives are inferior, and they speak this let's say Spanish and then English. So people who speaks English tend to be superior. It was not introduced as a communication skill to gather informations, to be able to communicate with the world, something like that. Here, it was understood as it is used by the Spanish time, the alta sociedad, the higher strata of society, the high society. Okay? So if you speak Spanish, then you say you will be looked upon as a social climber, something like that. There was a very, very negative understanding. So I think that is the only thing that we have to correct now. No? Speaking English has nothing to do with social status. It has nothing to do with you are the elites. It has nothing to do that you are more learned than the others. It has nothing to do that you are superior than others. It is a skill that we need to develop, because most of the information, if not all, are now in English. So how are we going to gather the information around us if we are not able to understand English? So before kasi, they always connect the English to being high society, social, and something like that. Which is, I said, it's a very, very shallow reasoning on why we should learn English. Right? Especially technical papers. Unfortunately, here in the Philippines, they want us to speak Filipino, but nobody is trying to translate all these things, especially technical papers, educational papers, literature, to Tagalog. Anyway, they tried it in the television and the movies, right? That everything. But movies, learning them from the movies and so on, so not enough. We learned the Tagalog, so now we are lagging, because all the technical papers, all these manuals, all these things, that informations that are more useful for our development, people don't understand. Okay? So, now that's what I'm trying to convey now, is that we are going to learn English not to become like this previous interpretations of the people that, you are very, very intelligent and you are superior because you can speak English. No. We try to learn English skills as a development tool because we will gather informations from others to improve ourselves that we can use. Of course, now we don't have to gather everything that they have. We have just to be picky and choosy what we can use for our own improvement. And of course, because now the world is so open, especially in social medias and everything else, and we have to communicate, and language is we cannot change it now, and it's in English. Another thing is in our economic we are exporting people. Unfortunately, still until now, we are still exporting people, and the skills to speak English should be very good, no? Because we have a lot of OFWs. There are around maybe 5 million OFWs or 10 million, I don't know. I don't have a concrete data right now. Yes, that is a universal language, as Wanderlust says. It's spoken almost worldwide, no? At least, no? So if you use that, then you'd be able to communicate. Although still there is other places they don't really also speak English, because at the time, okay, we'll go back to the history. So now I have addressed the misconceptions about the speaking of English. Here it was we have this feeling that those people speaking English are the elites, and it has been like that actually from the very beginning. Because if you go to exclusive schools and things like that, oh, you speak English, you know. So it has been this exclusive feeling or being superior because you speak English. No, it should be toned down that this is pangmasa, right? And of course, it will not replace our own language, but it should be a learned skill. So, what is I will move towards when was the English or the Filipino forcefully introduced into our formal education. This is started in 1974. That's why I'm always telling here in my life, I am the product of bilingual instruction. Because it started from us when I was in the elementary school. There was this declaration, the presidential decree in 1974 that classroom instructions will be in bilingual. Meaning, some subjects will be taught in English, some will be in either local dialects or in Tagalog. Anyway, I will still highlight. During the colonialization period, I think I will have to repeat that. Not everybody speaks Spanish. Not everybody speaks English. Mostly, the English is spoken only in the capital, here in Manila, because it is where the seat of government is. And of course, in the elite schools, that's why it became it connected to this. You are very learned person because you speak in English. So our lawyers, those that have bachelor degrees and those who have finished colleges, they can speak English very well and something like that. So we have this not as a tool, but as a means of being superior. That is the only thing that we have to erase. It is not about superiority. It is just a tool. Communication tool. That's it. There is nothing superior about speaking English. But of course, for example, I can draw. You cannot draw. Am I superior to you? It's just a skill. I have this drawing skill. You don't have. You have a different skill. It doesn't mean that we are superior, who among us is superior because we have these skills and so and so. Maybe our level of skill, we can classify that. Maybe it's a bit beginner, intermediate, expert, something like that. But there is nothing as in a superiority as a person or being used to, because of course during the colonial times they have to control people. Fortunately here in the Philippines, because this is only spoken in Manila, even though we speak fluently in Spanish, Rizal wrote everything in Spanish. Our lawmakers wrote everything in English and so and so. It is only here in the elites that understand them well. Because in the provinces, we don't speak Spanish. We don't speak English. Maybe we understood it, but no, we don't speak it. Because you just read books, something like that, that is in English. But once you communicate at home, that is automatically in Bisaya. you don't read books and then your mom or your brother came around and called you and then you started speaking in English. No, we don't do that. You're reading an English book, then someone called you, "Hoy, balik ka nga, pumunta ka muna rito, tulungan mo ako maghugas plato." Something like that. Basa ka ng libro dyan. Yeah, something like that, right? So we don't really use that at home. Unlike what happened to maybe Mexico and some other Latin countries, that the English language became entrenched in their society and it's a spoken language, even at home and everywhere. Here, no. So, what happened was, because of this, the first movement towards this is that there are a lot of other Filipinos that was taken advantage because they cannot understand English. No? So the first apparent example there is about law. The law, they cannot some people don't understand the law and how they are discussed, especially, or how they are explained, because they are explained in English, and those people in the southern part of the Philippines, or sometimes they cannot understand that thoroughly, no? Thoroughly. Maybe some parts of it, but not really all of it. So there was this movement, no, in the 70s that we should speak Tagalog, especially the father of the president today. Actually, I now believe that the president was really just a spoiled brat, you know. I don't want to say that, but I grow with him. We grow together. We are just about the same age. I have more respect to Amy because when I was in school, elementary, in high school, she was the one who is the president of the Kabataang Barangay. And when we do the meetings and the national conferences or the citywide conferences in Fort Bonifacio, she is the leader that stands in the stage to talk to us. It's not Bongbong. It was not Bongbong. Actually, during that time, Bongbong, his long hair, attending ROTC without having his hair cut. Okay, let's go back to the English, the Filipino language. We don't, we don't, we don't dwell on that politics. Let's go back to the English language and the Filipino language. So there was this movement. That's why it was pushed during the 70s that the Tagalog was to be a national language, something like that. And there was this commotion, actually, the politics and political wrangling. Why should be Tagalog? It should be the Visayan or something like that, you know, the Cebuano or the, no, is Tagalog is another form of imperialism and colonialism, just to control also people in the Visayas and so on, so blah blah blah, like something like that. So the Cebuanos, they were the one who resisted very, very, very fiercely that the language that should be recognized as the language for the Philippines is Cebuano. They fought firstly that it should be Cebuano, not the Tagalog, because Cebuanos or some Visayan language are spoken more by more people than Tagalog. Tagalog is only here in the central Luzon. So to compromise, because Tagalog is in the seat of government is in Manila, and of course, wherever the seat of Manila is, that's the spoken language for the country. There is a compromise that we will not call it Tagalog. We call it Filipino. That is enshrined in 1987 Constitution. Filipino language is based on Tagalog, meaning the seed is Tagalog. But languages from all other regions can be inserted into the Filipino language once it has achieved universality of use throughout the country. So if I will give an example, Pangga, that is already understood almost by everybody, the word Pangga or Palangga. Uy, palanggang-palangga. Si Pangga naman kasi, si Palangga. Right? So si Pangga, uy, Pangga, kumusta ka na? Something like that. Right? Pangga or Palangga is not Tagalog, it is Bisaya. So it is for us, Bisaya, to insert all these languages. That's why I'm trying to popularize words from our language to be a common and have a universal usage here in the Philippines. It will be used throughout, that a lot of people will be able to understand, so that it will be included in the Filipino languages. Filipino will be the melting pot of the language, no? Which is the converging of all the words used in the Philippines. It was just misunderstood also during the implementation because it is based in Tagalog, and those purists, I will call them purists, they want to have a pure Tagalog blah blah blah, and that's where all the confusions came about. Anyway, how is the chat now? Everybody, good morning again. Thank you very much for tuning in today's English Today practice. So, how is everybody? Thank you for tuning in. We have Wanderlust and maybe some other BG, I don't know. We have only very few people in the view. Well, I have already a lot of viewers, but the one that is concurrently viewing, only we have only very few. So never mind, it's alright. Oops, sorry. So anyway, and we should not feel inferior. People should not feel inferior because they cannot speak English. Right? Today, for example, nobody will be joining, and because they feel inferior. No. How did I gain my confidence in speaking English? If I don't know the word of the English word, I just add ing in the end, right? And continue speaking English. You just paikotize that thing. You know? You just paikotize it. They don't understand what is meant by paikotize, so they will ask, what do you mean paikotize? Like this, like this. Then that's finished. Right? That's done. Ikotize. You just ikotize it like this, oh. You don't understand what's ikotize? Especially Filipino, they're very good in creating words. We have created a lot of words. It's now in Merriam, also added in the Merriam Webster dictionary. Most of them are just created here. We have created a lot. Especially those other, and it's very easy for us to adapt them. For example, buy. Oh, buy. Buy is actually Bisaya. You know, we don't call buy people. Fine. No. So that is my message. No, we should not feel inferior because English is just a tool. It's just a tool. So that is the message that should be communicated to the massa, that there is no superiority or inferiority when we learn English. Nothing. It's just a tool. So try to learn it. And that's it. It has nothing to do with being a social climber. It has nothing to do with being a member of the elite. Because you can speak English, it has nothing to do. It is just a tool for us to gather information. Of course, before, it was not like that, because being a part of the elite is, of course, the privileges and power and everything is very, very addictive. So, they did not rectify it as such. Because they also want to enjoy the power of being an elite. And of course, it stunts our growth, no? It stunts our growth. If we think like that, we will not grow. Because we are striving to be this elitism and whatever ism in the world is just a BS. It's just all these are BS, no? So we have to learn that. Okay, let's just go back to the breakdown of the history. I said about the. Let's talk about how we came into being like this, no? Our state of being as of today. So I said before, in the 70s there was this movement, no? That because there is an establishment of Bagong Lipunan then, so and so, which now they are reviving again, Bagong Pilipinas and whatsoever. Everything, every time na lang we have the president, where they always the new, the bago and everything. Yes, another BS, no? So anyway, because we cannot move on from this introduction of always new every new president. So anyway, I will go back to this because sometimes there is politics involved, so I cannot avoid that. Let's go back into this. I was in the 70s. Okay, what is the real state of English speaking the English in the Philippines at the time? I can only say on my observations, because we don't have data. No? I don't have a concrete data to base my conclusion or exploitation. What they call this, you know, one. because I don't have the concrete data on how many people can really speak. Maybe they always say, statistically speaking, oh, 96%, oh, 95%. But me, I said, well, maybe understood or English, the level of English literacy is not really that high, no? That's why you can say 97%. Almost everybody. Because they understand good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. But being conversant in English, maybe it will go down. The statistics will go down. No? Being conversant, or you can speak really as a communication tool, you can use English, right? Marcy TV, hello, good morning. So now we have a program, as I have said before. If you're late, we are going to, my live today is English Practice Live. Okay, I will explain again later. Let me continue. So what is the state of the English language here in the Philippines during the 70s? That is the time when I was in elementary school, and in the 70s, no? So there was this movement, especially after the declaration of 1081, the martial law and things like that. And the Bagong Lipunan, because the Bagong Lipunan, of course, we have to establish the new society. And we must develop new ideologies and identities and things like that. That comes with how to build a nation. So we have to have our own language. So there was this push of loving our own language. But it actually, again, I think there was very that's what I'm saying is there was this the mistake is in how to communicate the objective, because the first thing that we have to erase is that the speaking English is being an elite and something like that, being a member of upper class society. That is the thing that we have to erase. And we have to emphasize that English is only a tool. It is a tool. It is a skill that we must learn as a tool. Just like learning guitar, learning carpentry, learning whatever things. But unfortunately, it is always connected to our colonial past. When you speak English, you are a member of an elite. So that is the thing that we should remove. So anyway, I'll go back to this new society. So of course, during the elementary school days, during my school days, actually Filipinos here very picky, or we say that we don't have racism here, maybe, but discrimination is very high, no? Because we have a very, very intense regionalism at the time. I cannot speak in the classroom because my Tagalog and my English is not correctly pronounced. Yes, I'm from Visaya. I studied elementary here. When I was in grade 5 or grade 6, I was almost graduating now. And I cannot speak them that fluently, no? Not that as I cannot speak them fluently, meaning I always mispronounce the words. And because of this mispronunciation, you are being discriminated. I hate that experience actually when I was at school. Na they will laugh at you, because they will it's not a form of bullying, but of course you felt like they are more superior and you are inferior because you have mispronounced. I will challenge them. Before, I always tell them, you go down to my hometown. If you can speak our language, I will salute you, because that's the most difficult language spoken here in the Philippines. It's one of the difficult because we have another sound that is not found in any other languages. How we spell it, you will not be able to read it correctly and pronounce it correctly. That is the Aklanon language. I said, I'll challenge you. If you can speak Aklanon, I'll salute you. It was not emphasized that most Filipinos are linguists. We can speak 4 or 3. We are all polyglot. I can speak Aklanon. I can speak Tagalog. I can speak Bisaya. I can speak English. How many languages can I speak? 4. Then we still being put down as inferior. My goodness. Because of that simple pronunciation, you listen to how the Poles speak their English. You listen how the Germans speak their English. You listen how the Japanese speak their English. You listen how the speak their English. You can automatically determine that guy is an Italian because of the intonation, because of the diction, because of how. But that at the time, because we have this colonial mentality that to become a member of the elite, you have to speak this very, very like the same as they are. It is used as a gauge, used as a measure to be a member of the alta sociedad, right? So they use that as a measure of your superiority, inferiority, and that is the only thing that we have to erase. No, you're becoming emotional again, Mr. Wino. For example, if I hear Mang Wino, even I wonder why one of the Filipinas here called me Mang. Siya Pilipina eh. Mang is not a first name. It is a it is a Mr. This is an address. So anyway, morning English day today. Good morning English day today from Madiskarting Nanay. Hello, good morning to you in Madiskarting Nanay. Yes, today the English day today is today is the English practice today, and we should brush up our English today. I just have this idea to speak English today because I came across the news item there when one of the lawmakers in Congress proposed banning. I will change the headline, okay? So that it will be the one that is showed there. I will change na this one. Solon proposed banning of dubbing English movies. One of the lawmaker in Congress proposed to ban dubbing of English movies shown in TV. Proposed banning of proposed ban of dubbing English movies. Okay, that's it. Oops. Why is that like this? Do I make it two lines? Yeah, like that. So that ups cancel. Okay. Wait, I'm just adding some titles, no? So I don't have to repeat every time. Okay, so maybe we color this yellow or green or what? Maybe lighter green because everything is in green. So maybe a darker green like this. Okay, let's try. Oh no, it's terrible. Morning, Father Remaso. How's your rest last night? Said mud discarding nanay. Yeah. And text messages color maybe a black. Okay, we try black. Oh no, it's terrible then. What is the color here? That is contrasting with our background. Okay, which color is pink, red, or I don't know. Yeah, pinkish red. Okay. Oh, cannot read that also. Just lighter pink. Okay, like that. Oh, maybe. The Solon proposed ban of dubbing English movies. So I said, I will discuss this. This is a good topic. Madiscarding na. Professor Maui now started nose bleeding again. Good morning, Padre. How's your rest last night? Oh, I like that. Got my nose bleeding again. Okay. No, we don't have to do the nose bleeding. As I was explaining, don't have to repeat all the things that I have said. I don't think so. So I will just continue on. So in the 70s, actually, there is a very, very high, we are still experiencing here a very high discrimination, very intense regionalism. And that is one of the things, that is undertaken as to be erased, no? That's why there was this national program of unity and buklod, things like that, because the very high regionalism, that we are one, we are just one, isang bansa, isang diwa. That's why it was advertised like that or pushed like that. So we have those movements. And it's really a bad experience to be discriminated because you cannot speak or correctly pronounce the word, no? So I was very, very angry at the time. And I always challenge them to go to our hometown. And if they can only speak just a word, then I will salute them. May I know what is your good dream, Padre? Madiscarte Nana said. Yeah, everybody now is even in the chat. I will not be so strict in the chat, of course. It's only me here in the live stream that will try that throughout my live stream, this will be purely all in English, except when I quote something in Tagalog, of course. So anyway, let's continue. Okay, we put that aside, the negative connotation. And what else? The discrimination is like, that's why I'm very angry, or I really don't like very much the word promdi, the word promdi, because it is a tool of being inferior, used by those superior and inferior people. Ay, promdi kasi siya eh. Something like that, no? Promdi yan eh. Gusto ko, at that time, I just want to box them actually. Right. So, fortunately, that those things was erased now. We don't have those things now. Rose Tasty, hello, daily life. Rose Tasty, how are you there in Indonesia? Rose Tasty, how are you? Okay. Now, in my life, I will speak English for Monday practice. Monday practice in English. This came about because we have a very drastic or very, very large deterioration of English skills in the Philippines. In just few decades, 2 decades, everything went downwards. In just one generation. So I'm recalling stories in my younger years. Don't worry, host, I'm listening while still lying here. Everybody does every morning, making dot before doing everything. Yes, I know maybe madiscarding nanay has not slept really last night that early, even though I've been coaching her to sleep. But she's really in the mood of meeting his forever, because she's very disappointed about her forever, that is manhid. Maybe it's not manhid, maybe it's just that the circumstances surrounding the events, the circumstances are not favorable. So anyway, I will continue. So at the time, no, there are words that and of course like this before, that's why those are a form of discrimination, like even in our movies, in our entertainment industry, like for example, Nora Honores. Nora is, if you are Noranian, it's what you are called the whatever, and when you are this is Belma, you are higher up, something like that. We always use or gauge, no, measure social status. Although it's no problem to have social status, why not? But we don't have to display it crudely, you know, a crude display of social status. What is masjid in English? Oh, masjid is a mosque. Oh, yes. So, Indonesia has more than 700 languages. 700, imagine that. So of course, it is also nice, or it is favorable to learn English as a universal. English is actually neutral. That's why, for me here, it's better for us to learn English in the sense that if I will depend it, first, use it as a tool. Second, use it as a neutral means of communication. Because, again, we go back to this regionalism that when you speak Tagalog, you will be construed as, oh, Tagalog na naman yan, so taga Manila yan, or something like that. No? So, to be neutral, you just speak in English. Right? And the truth is, Tagalog is not really spoken throughout the Philippines. At home, I mean. It maybe they understand, they speak, but they are not used at home. When my son went to the province, people around him are reminded, can you please speak Tagalog? Kawawa naman si Sarge at hindi yan nakakaintindi ng aklanon. Mag-Tagalog nga muna ng sandali. So, they are adjusting to speak Tagalog because my son cannot understand. Never mind host my forever. Just continue talking your topic. Yeah, okay, you just take care of your forever and I will do my forever here. Okay, Indonesia has so many tribes and different tradition, Rose Tasty said. Yes, yeah. Because the colonizations here was not that as intense maybe like in Mexico or some Latin countries, that they were totally now they totally speak Spanish or Portuguese. In South America, for example, in Brazil, although of course maybe they preserve their local languages, but nationally they speak Spanish and speak Portuguese. In the Netherlands, in Aruba, they speak Netherlands, they speak Dutch. So anyway, in the Caribbean, here also we don't speak Tagalog. So one of the reasons that we use English is for neutrality. We don't favor a region. And also, we don't favor the U.S. It has nothing to do with the U.S. being superior or the United Kingdom being superior because we are trying to use the language. They were just good in propagating their language, and it is now spoken all over the world. So it's okay, no problem with it. It doesn't really mean that they're superior. No. Balodois TV, hello host. Balodois TV, hello, how are you? Good morning, welcome to my live stream. Okay, Balodoy. I will add you as one of our standard moderators. Everybody is a moderator. In the Filipino chat box, everybody is a moderator. So anyway, I will continue. So at that time in the 70s, okay, I'm just recalling my younger years as a child during those times, how it is. Because mostly the people now, they no longer know it. Like madiskarting nanay, I think born in the 80s. So consciousness came into her in the 2000s, in the late 90s. So they don't really have any sense of what it's like to be in the Philippines in the 70s. Okay, so I will try to make some stories here, recall. So it's just anecdotal, no? It is not throughout or because I don't have statistics. I don't have correct data. During the time the 70s, there was this movement of isang bansa, isang diwa, and Tagalog was pushed as a language used throughout. Of course, as I've told, there was fierce resistance by the Visayans because more people speak Bisaya than Tagalog. Tagalog is only here in Manila, Central Luzon, and then Kapampangan is different, Ilocos is different, and they don't speak Tagalog there, right? But the seat of government is in the Manila. That's why it's Tagalog, and that's the only reason. So there was this fears, and before I said there's a very because of a strong regionalism. First, that has to be erased, no? And I think we are successful in erasing that regionalism, uniting the country. And we don't really put forward that I am from this region and more superior than this region, something like that, right? Now you don't feel that way anymore, no? Before, yeah, that's why I really don't like to watch movies of Tagalog movies before, because it is subjected to jokes, subjected to if you are from D like that. There's a topic of jokes and to be laughed at, and I really don't like it long time ago, when I was young, you know? So now because of changes, and it's nice now, no? Because the concentration of progress is in Manila, so they feel superior, no? Which is actually a failure. It is not superiority. It is a failure of governance. It's a failure because we were not able to spread economic prosperity throughout the Philippines. Okay. The way Sunday speak shocked me. What do you mean, roast tasty? What do you mean? Why roast tasty? Was way hard to find friends? Are they all not friendly or nice person? The way Sunda speak shocked me. Sunda, because they cannot. Yo. Okay, mayroong kukuha ng kalamansi. Wait. Sorry. Oh no. There was the ano. Oh, wow. Kamo. Yung akong ano, camera. I lost my camera. Moment. I'll fix my camera because I pulled it out. I should have supposed to pull out only the mic, but my camera also got pulled. So, moment lang, I will fix the camera. Activate, deactivate, and activate. Yeah, okay, now fix that. So anyway, let's go back. What I think the Roast Tasty is saying is that because they have also different languages in Indonesia, it's sometimes shocking to hear other languages. You know, we can understand. Just like me, if I hear Ilocano or Kapampangan, it's very alien. You know, it's very alien to hear them speak, and you really don't understand what they're saying. Likewise, when they hear people from Bisaya, but actually Bisayans now are becoming more popular. That's why we are pushing it. I am also one of those that push it, that it will be integrated into the Filipino language. Okay, that we will come to the chapter of the Filipino, what is a Filipino language later. Okay, I am just trying to have now established the history of the development of our language here, as how we developed that. So at that time, I was at school, at elementary, in 1974. This started in 1974. That formal educations here, how we are going to teach, how are we going to teach children, is introduced the bilingualism, bilingual, meaning we reduce the amount of English language usage in school and increase the amount of usage of, well, before it was Tagalog, it was not called Filipino pa, in schools. Also in, later on, also in radio stations. Because during that time, in the 70s, not all TV channels are in Tagalog, no. The most popular channel then was Channel 9, which is an English channel. And maybe, really, there was this high level of understanding English at the time, in the 70s. Because as children, when we watch TV, all these TV series that we watch are all in English. Mission Impossible, $1 Million Man, Combat, Voltes 5, they were not dubbed in Tagalog or Filipino before. They were all in English, and everybody there is enjoying watching. No? I don't know if they are just watching the action. That's why Filipinos just want to watch action movies, because they can understand the action. If it's all talkish and it's all in English, then they will not be able to understand the whole story. So they are just waiting for the fight scenes. Okay. Yes. But Sunda makes jokes so cruel. Yes, sometimes. That's happens also here. That's what I am trying to say also here in the Philippines long time ago. Well, in the 70s. Sometimes it's used as cruel jokes, or the other languages use a cruel joke and things like that, which is really in bad taste, no? Fortunately now, it's no more. It's lessened. We don't have that now. So every language are respected, and all the regions are respecting each other, and that's all right. Huh? We're just helping each other. If you cannot speak it yet, okay, we'll try to help you. Speak this muna for a meantime. So here, for example, especially for tourists, it is not a guarantee that when you speak Tagalog, you will be understood. If you go somewhere else in the part of the Philippines, it's better you speak English. Maybe they will not be able to talk to you back long time ago, no, but they will surely would be able to understand it. So anyway, let's go back again. And during that time, for example, in the 70s, do we have television stations in the far-flung provinces of the Philippines? No, we don't have. It's just in the early 80s and 90s when the broadcasting power of the TV stations increased. No, that's why they increased their network. The GMA network, 5,000 watts power. Even the coverage here in Manila is just short. You go a bit further, the television signal you will not be able to receive already. Right? So actually, the means of as a means at the time is not that effective pa. No? The coverage is not that wide as of today. Better tilapia, omelette, hand-boiled egg, always. Okay, testing luto ito. Time pa lang nagawa. First time pa lang nagawa. Okay. Tilapia, omelette, yes. Our mother is always using that. Kaya lang mabasa-masa na yun when you mix the tilapia and the omelette egg. You first remove the egg, then you mix it with the tilapia, and then you make sabaw-sabaw a little bit. Mix it with onions and it's always cooked by her mom. Tilapia and egg omelette na, well, actually the egg was used as a sahog also. Okay, so anyway, last night English channels angry because Tagalog friends laughing using Tagalog in LS. Last English channels is angry because Tagalog friends laughing using Tagalog in LS. So anyway, yeah, actually we use, that's why what I'm telling is we just use English as neutral, no? Neutral means of communicating. The thing is here, what happened here was when they pushed to promote the Tagalog or Filipino, we now call it Filipino. It's not Tagalog. Tagalog is Tagalog, the original. But Filipino is supposed to be a mixture of all the languages with the seed as Tagalog. The English channel makes angry words. Yeah, actually in chat box, there is a translate. If he is using a desktop or computer, he can translate the chat box. It's easy to translate now into English. You just click translate and that's all. I don't know, only in the cell phone, if you are using cell phone, there is no translate yet in the chat box. But if you are using desktop, any languages here in the chat box can be translated to English. So if I don't understand what they're saying, I just translate. You can't even read, much more understand. So anyway, let's go back to this thing of promoting the Tagalog. So during my time, when this was first implemented, the presidential decree, what is that presidential decree? I will try to look for it, no? I will try to look for it. The presidential decree, blah, 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 the use of Filipino language. The use of Filipino language, bilingualism, the use of bilingualism, bilingual in school, presidential decree. That is Presidential Decree 1974. Not the 1987. Ayan, this one. 1976, no. 1974. Wait. Okay. Well, this one. Because in the 1973 Constitution, it was enshrined also the use of our own language, right? So, in the implementing guidelines, in the other laws, there's been a presidential decree. Okay. And it was implemented in 1974, bilingual. Oh. Wait. My browser closed. I will recover my browser first because my life probably will be affected. Wait lang. I cannot read kasi here in this screen. Anyway, my son ordered another screen, so maybe later I will be able to My tummy is hungry, not yet prepared breakfast yet because of that first. Well, the same here. I just have my coffee and that's all. So maybe I'll get some more coffee. You look at this very well, okay? You will recognize this sometimes. Look at your screen now and be familiar with this image. Ulit. Yan, this one. So that you will not hula who is that. So just a minute. I'll make my coffee first. I'll be back later. Okay, of course, you cannot be back in the past. You'll be always back later. But anyway, I'm just joking. So I will make some coffee some more and maybe get some bread. That's it. Or not really breakfast. Just to have replenish the hunger. Okay, so let me continue. Where are we? In the Presidential Decree 1974. So there was a lot of confusion then. No? How are we going to implement this? Are we going to translate all the English language into Tagalog? Something like that. So there was this, the purists, the professors that are purist Tagalog, they tried to invent words as corresponding words for English language. And sometimes in school, we laugh a lot, no? Because how would you translate brief or the undergarment na brief in Tagalog? Because when they Silya is also derived from Spain, so they didn't accept it as a Tagalog something, no? It's a borrowed word. Because they don't have, they want it purely Tagalog in some way. They intend they are always their intention is to have this pure Tagalog something, and then they try to invent words. For example, Silya, they try to invent na salungpuet. So we always laugh, no? It's salungpuet, that's funny. Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay. Yeah, live ako so sorry, I cannot So, just imagine if we call Silya as salungpuet. Just imagine, it's ridiculous. And of course, it was became a joke because how would you translate now the brief or the undergarment? Salong what? So like the square, we tried very, very hard how to translate square in so they have this parisukat, parihaba. Those are just recent inventions. Okay? those are just recent inventions in the 70s when they tried to implement all these things to have a counterpart. But it didn't take off that much, no? Some was retained, some is becoming ridiculous. It's just easier to just translate the spelling, no? You spell the square in Filipino, that's it. Because no language is also pure. Most of them are also just borrowed. It is the usage. If it becomes common usage and people understand, then it's added into the dictionary. So anyway, so that was the thing that happened, no? But still, then everything was still in English. The textbooks are all in English pa, and mostly textbooks, and our English instructions, most of the subjects are still in English. Science, math, and all other subjects are still taught in English, and only very few subjects are taught in let's say Tagalog or Filipino. So there was this compromise, no? Then later on, okay, so there was even a movement in we love our own language. So there were songs developed by mga folk singers and so on, so to promote the Filipino language. And one of the other laws that was adopted is radio stations. Okay, I was talking about TV stations and radio stations. Now, TV stations before mostly are in English. There is only one channel that is Tagalog. That is the Channel 4. No? The Channel 4 ever since has been broadcasting Tagalog. At ang mayroong host dyan, maybe she's a bit old now, gandang-ganda ko sa pagsasalita niya ng Tagalog talaga. Nakalimutan ko lang yung pangalan niya. I just forgot what is her name. She really has a nice face, beautiful, very, very simple beauty. And when he speaks Tagalog, it's really lovely. And she don't have this notion of speaking the names, you know, even speaking Tagalog, the names of let's say places in the Philippines pronounced as in English speaker, like Manila. Here in Manila, when you speak of the name, you pronounce it how they are spoken locally, not how the English people pronounce it, because they cannot pronounce it correctly. You don't have to imitate them. I really hate that when I hear Manila. Here in Manila, the weather is cloudy and sunny now in Manila. What? So, siya lang yun she is the only one broadcaster that once it is already a name or places here in the Philippines, she would say it correctly. Even though maybe sometimes she speaks also in English because the news is delivered in English and then in Tagalog. But she is not the other newscaster. In Makati, it's raining now in Makati and Taguig. What? Where is Taguig? I don't know a place here in the Philippines, Taguig. Okay, I'll just make a coffee. It's cloudy now in Taguig. Dami. So, I'll just on my coffee and we will continue. So anyway, okay, so now you can your thoughts also about what we are talking today. How you you can also put there in our comments, and what can you add as your opinion. It's no problem. This is an open discussion. I don't say that mine is correct. I have just these observations. That is what I'm always telling. These are observations of mine, and it doesn't have to be construed as whatever. These are some anecdotal stories, something like that, Nothing serious about it. These are just my opinions, my feeling, my experiences that I am trying to narrate to everyone. So, for example, I really like that one, that announcer, the Channel 4. I forget her name. I will try to search her again because I don't see her anymore. Of course, we are growing old. So maybe she had grown old also. At that time, she was already a newscaster. I was just a student. So, anyway, and those TV stations long ago, 70s, these are in English. Even the Channel 7. Channel 7, that is in English. Channel 2, that is in English. Channel 13, that is in English. The one that only broadcasting in Tagalog is Channel 4. PTV, because that's government TV. Channel 9 was has a more coverage or more popular before than Channel 7 or Channel 2. Channel 9 also government yan. And Channel 9 has all these English US series like The Streets of San Francisco. Oh, we love watching The Streets of San Francisco. Colombo, the detective. Colombo, those are the series that we watch, no? Colombo. Then Combat, the World War II Combat. And then we have this Mission Impossible, the original. And then we have the Per Orient Support. Hello, Per Orient Support. Per Orient, welcome. Yes, I always see Per Orient also. She's from New York, I think, because I don't know, na-mix na naman ako. Per Orient, sorry. Si yun para, Rose Per para yun. Rose Per is from New York, okay? Si Per Orient is, of course, our local. So anyway, let me continue. Welcome, Per Orient, okay? Rose Tasty, yeah. So anyway, let us continue. So at that time, in the 70s, Channel 9 is the English language, right? And of course, also that is I think more the investors or shares, there is also large shares, there is government. I think that is a semi-government channel, Channel 9. Channel 7 and Channel 2 long in the 70s. That's very poor. Those are just a small network. Okay? Long before is the Channel 13 and 9, government TVs, Channel 4. Okay. Channel 9, they're all in English. Even their news is in English. Newswatch. Their Newswatch is in English. And Channel 9, I can remember well, during calamities like typhoons, they have this 24-hour coverage. Just typhoon watch. What's going on in typhoon. But of course, during the time, as I am saying, the coverage of TV very limited, no? In the provinces, there are just few relay stations. There are very few relay stations. It's not nationwide. So in the provinces, we don't have TV. We have only radio. When we go back to the province, we don't have TV. We only use the radio as our means of entertainment. Because there is the broadcast is coming from Iloilo. And of course, the coverage also is very short distance, no? If you are only in the city. So there is not that much relay stations or the broadcasting power. So in the 90s, in the 2000s, when the improvement in the broadcasting power and so on, so that's why sometimes maybe you remember with how GMA pinalakas sa mga, like how they promote their power of transmission power. 50 watts, 50,000 watts power, something like that, no? So they will have a larger coverage. And what is the connection in the English and the Filipino language? Well, at the time in the 70s, the state of the TVs is like that. No? And TV is, of course, for the masses, which is free broadcasting. So everybody watches that, right? Still, it is concentrated here in the NCR, right? Even though it's all English and everything like that, it's just concentrated here in Manila. Because in the provinces, we don't have television. So even English, maybe when we understand it, especially Tagalog, we really don't understand it. Sometimes we have jokes also when in our own province, no? Yung bakit hamaan? Bakit hamaan? Hey, kasi bakit hamaan ka yan eh? Something like that, no? Sometimes it's really negative, no? When depends on the tone of how it was spoken, no? Because Filipino is very flexible, and you should be able to understand the context, how it is spoken, how it is delivered. So bakit hamaan? Ibig sabihin, that is the counterpart to bakit in the Aklanon is hamaan. Eh bakit hamaan kasi yan eh? So that's how they say that he is from Manila. So anyway, and also at the time when you are from Manila and you go back to the province, you feel superior. You can no longer speak your own language. You also only speak Tagalog because it was connected to superiority. This has to be, and fortunately, now it's been erased, no? So people, Tagala, hindi na marunong mag-Bisaya, Tagala na. Yeah, Super Orient TV yan. Yeah, Super Orient. I think yesterday I supported yung live ni Per Orient or the other day. So anyway, let's continue. So our topic for today, let's have a break. We are now running 1 hour and 40 minutes in our topic, English Today, the story of the Filipino language. So this just happened that I discussed the English and speak in English today in my life because one of the lawmakers in our Congress, in the House, lower house, proposed banning or to ban the dubbing of English movies shown in television. But before we discuss that, banning of English movies shown in television, I am now recalling my experiences on how we came into into being like this, our situation like this now, through time, through changes in time, starting from the 70s. So at the time, as I am saying, TV stations, only one station is in Tagalog. Then radio stations, all the FM radio stations don't speak Tagalog. They are all in English. And that's why now, because of that notion of that colonial mentality and their broadcasting, even though they cannot broadcast far and wide, the imitating how the Westerners speak their English is the aim, no? The aim. Actually, we are the ones of the neutral speaker of English. We are neutral in our pronunciation, actually, because we follow the not the diction or the tone of the UK, but the Webster pronunciation of English. It's just so the common mistake, of course, is the F. Like me now, I cannot make the sound F in my English or the V in my English because we don't have that sound in our Tagalog, no? So we miss the F and we miss the V in how we speak the English language, especially the ish thing, no? Like the English, or how we on pa the other letters emphasize, because our language is just very simple phonetic, abacada, very ano yan. We always pronounce just in one sound, one letter, one sound, that's it. Or well, 5, no? A, E, I, O, O. Well, vowels yun, 5. A, it's all. So one letter, A is always A. Because in English, letter A or A is spoken differently. Depends on the usage in the word. Right? Like ban. Here, it's ban, right? Oh, we're banning. Ban. We ban the, for example, ban. Like that. But when you add another E, vein, right? It's still A there, but it's pronounced differently. Stay, you don't really stay, you don't say it stay, you say it stay. But in the Philippines, we always use A as A, E as E. That's it, no variation. Right? So, we use only the variations in our tone, in our delivery, and things like that, in our stress. Morning po mga kuya at sa mga nandirito. Aware po, noon din si Dewata. Thanks, yes. At Celine Miguel, shout out. Hello, welcome at Ma'am Celine on today's Monday English. Ma'am Celine, very fluent in English also, because that's where you've been get, or in the mountain province. The American base is there. Long time ago, Camp Janhay in Baguio. Of course, people there speak English very thoroughly. I was amazed when we were camping there when I was in school in elementary, and how they speak English there. No? So anyway, I'm discussing this in English as that we learn English as a tool rather than as elevating ourselves as a superior being. No? It is not about being superior. It is not about being inferior, but we learn English as a tool. And I am now discussing what is the state of the situation in the 70s and the 80s. Okay, how it come about. Of course, in the 70s, during the Marcos times, during Emelda's time, there was this promotion of Tagalog. So all these radio stations was ordered to play Tagalog songs every 15 minutes. Because long time ago, in the 70s, during the 70s, FM stations, they only play English songs. Okay? They only play English songs. We are practicing our English today, Ma'am Celine, because of the deterioration of English in the Philippines, and they are trying to arrest or remedy the problem that there was a drastic decrease in the proficiency in English in the Philippines. So I'm retelling some my own experiences and stories how we come about into this situation that the English suddenly deteriorated. This came about because we are promoting the Tagalog. Okay? So in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, there was this, and again, presidential decree and law that all FM stations should play Tagalog every 15 minutes. So in 1 hour program, you should play at least at a minimum 4 Tagalog songs. And that is also to provide venue to support local artists. Okay? Because how can we promote our local songs and local artists if their songs are not played in radio? That's why all these artists sometimes, it's true, or maybe they cannot just say it, but they are indebted to Imelda Marcos, actually, because she's the one that pushed that, or well, maybe in the front line of propagating support the artist and everything like that. Tagalog songs and so on. So because we have then the music festival, the Filipino music festival, which is the anak is one of the product of that festival. The song anak. It just won second in the festival because the Apo Hiking Society was the winner of the grand prize, and Freddy Aguilar was the second. But people can already tell what song will be more popular. And of course, Anak became worldwide. Just finished feeding the birds. I'll start making coffee. Okay. Oh, I thought you made your coffee already. So you feed the bird first before you made your coffee? I will get my coffee also. A moment lang. Please excuse me a bit because I just heated my water. Just boiled some water also, and I've not taken my coffee pa. Thank you for reminding me also. Madiskarteng Nanay 19. Okay, so let's go back. So if you imagine now the situation in the 70s when all the FM radio stations are in English. Just imagine that. That's why we're at the time when the proficiency in English is really high. However, there was this a disadvantage that our own language is just become secondary, right? So we have to reverse it. It should be the English as a secondary, right? So the only thing we have to do is invert that English will be secondary and primary is Tagalog, something like that. But we don't have to discard English, because what happened was English was discarded, right? Later in the promotions of marketing strategies and everything else, it seems that the English has been discarded. It was discarded thoroughly, and we just focus on the Tagalog thing. And there, of course, it follows that there will be a deterioration in the usage of English. So I will continue. Just imagine you open the radio and you listen to the music, everything is played in English. All the DJs are in English, and they can speak well, thoroughly in English, no? Just like sometimes they have this British accent, sometimes they have this American accent. You cannot determine actually whether it's a Filipino or not, or Filipino or a foreigner that is in the station. So anyway, let's well, so let me continue in my discourse. I just have just a merienda a little bit, no? It's already, our time is 11 o'clock. Oh my goodness. It's already 11 o'clock. Okay, the time really flies by. Okay. What about that? So, just imagine that. If that is already now, in the 80s, if that is happening now, when you open your TV, only one channel is in Tagalog. Of course, it's depressing because yun na nga, our own language is not used, no? So they try to implement how to promote, implement this in radio stations and soon also in TV. Slowly changing and adding the number of songs in FM radios and programming in TV. That you should have a Filipino language program. Additional language, Filipino Tagalog language program in TV. Right? Of course, there is already a Tagalog program before. The sikat is the most famous is John and Marcia. Okay? Si Dorothy. And John and Marcia, Nida Blanca and Dorothy. Jadi atay-atayan. I can still recall the tune of their the song or the music, their opening music. So anyway, let me continue. So of course it gained momentum, no? It gained momentum. Speaking of Tagalog. And for it to gain momentum, sometimes they reverse the joke. Now, if you are speaking English, you are already the ones to be laughed at, or you are being looked at negatively. Like, you just want to be a member of the elite and something like that, right? So that's what happened. So of course, everybody now don't want to speak English, right? They gone because hindi ka makamasa. Right? This was connected to being with the masses is if you speak the local language. Meaning, if you only speak English, you are a member of the elite. It's still, there is a negative connotation there. There is still that negativeness in the story. So that's what happened. And in time, in the 80s, of course, there was this gained momentum. And because our laws, our sometimes they are not understood, as I have explained, because in the provinces we don't have TV, we don't have it's not sure that everybody is understand English actually. And they are taken advantage in the courtroom because they cannot understand what is being talked about in the hearing. So now, in our courts, they are required to ask how the hearing should be conducted, whether it's in Tagalog or in English, or in any other local languages, because they don't understand it. And before, especially our lawyers before, those are the one talaga na very elite talaga ang dating niyan, no? Long time ago. How they use the English language. They are mostly highly trained in the usage of English language because they are lawyers. Every word must have this intentional meaning. I've been busy since I woke up. Just keep on just keep on what you're doing. I wonder. It's all right. So what we have learned now. So in the 80s, especially, I will shorten the story. In 1986, you know what happened? We just celebrated, I think, tomorrow or when? 26, 27, the celebration, I think. I don't know. In 1987, wherein, of course, there's the original the regime before was thrown out of the Philippines, right? And everything was also thrown out. That's the problem there. A lot of confusion again arose because all these programs, because the intention then was to erase the memory and erase the so the implementation again bonkers, no? And of course they want to implement again their own blah 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 or their versions of how society should be. Of course nobody wants to nobody wants to uncling from the power and the being a privileged elite. That's why the Philippines, the elite failed the Philippines. I always say that the elite of the Philippines, the Philippine elite failed the masses. Me too, no time to feel the tingling sensation. Tingling. Okay, so anyway, electrifying sensation. So anyway, let me continue. So in the 1987 Constitution, again, they enshrined, because we have the 1987 Constitution, the Filipino language was again enshrined there. And yun na nga, it should not be purely Tagalog. So, this is now to inform the masses that if you are Bisaya, if you are Ilocano, and you want to popularize one of the words that you use in your province to be included as a national language, you just use it frequently so that more and more people will be able to understand it and they will use it. Just like my example before, the Langga or Pangga. Most of the Bisayans who came to Manila and they always speak it. So, of course, it is adopted by everybody now and everybody calls Pangga. Oh, my Pangga. Oh, hello, Pangga. How are you? Right? Do you, madiscarding nanay, do you understand Pangga? Or Wonderland? Because Pangga, as far as I know, Palangga, it's not a Tagalog word. No? Palangga is not a Tagalog word. Palangga kita, palangga ko ikaw. Or I don't know. But even the Tagalog is not really purely Tagalog. It comes from a mixture of also other Visayan languages because the spread of the language is from the south. Pangga ko kayo, you see. So that is the now, that is the actually the the intention of the 1987 Constitution. That's why it was not called Tagalog as a language of national language of the Philippines. It is called Filipino. We don't say Tagalog. What is the language spoken in the Philippines? Filipino. No? The person is F, Filipino, but the language is P, Filipino. Something like that. So, and Filipino, the seed, of course, we have to start from somewhere. We have to start from something. The starting point is the Tagalog. That's why it is just the seed. How we plant to make it more colorful and more joyful is for us, Visayas, Ilocanos, Pampangueños, to use the words you want to incorporate in the language and use it frequently, and it will be accepted and it will be included there. Just like my example nga, pangga, right? Bye. We no longer use pare. Pare sometimes is one. It was changed into some other words. Bye. Because Visayans, especially if they're in a group, they always carry with them their common words, and wherever they go. So it is easily adapted. Okay? So also I promote some words that I want to be promoted. Baruto. If a lot of people understand baruto, then it's a Filipino word, baruto. We don't really tell na if it is a Visayan word, Tagalog word, or what. We just say it's a Filipino word. As enshrined in our 1987 Constitution. Now, what happened in the educational system? The implementation of the bilingual, that's where the problem arose, no? The bilingual system. Because this was captured again by the capitalists and the businessmen. For example, dubbing of movies. If we go now to the present time, although the original purpose was to promote the language, but of course, it is more profitable if more people will be able to watch, right, a certain movie. Because as I have explained before, now, compared to long time ago, the coverage of TV is almost nationwide. Almost everywhere you can have a TV coverage. Long time ago, here in Muntinlupa, even here, it's very difficult to receive the TV signal in the 80s. You have to have a very, very tall antenna to just receive signal from Manila. And this is just Muntinlupa. We are here, we have been living here since the 80s. You have very tall antenna and you have to rotate it, face it this way, that way, whatever, just to receive the signal, right? So to increase coverage, to increase viewership, even the language has been hijacked because a lot more people will be watching the movie, and because they are dubbed in Tagalog. Because I was shocked to hear one of the people I know here when he told me that before he watched the movie, who is this, Arnold Schwarzenegger, something like that, in Latin America, where he has to rescue someone. What is the title of that movie? Si Arnold sa Bolivia, sa Colombia, something like that, when there was this terrorist and his wife died, I think That was then he want to locate the terrorist in somewhere in Latin America, something like that. What is the title of that movie? I forgot. And then very recently, no, just a few years ago, and he told me, "Oh, I will quote in Tagalog. Ang ganda pala ng pelikula na yon. Napanood ko yun dati, hindi ko masyadong maintindihan eh. Because it is now dubbed." My dog, hindi ko aso yan. Kamuting aso yan ng kapitbahay. It is now dubbed in English, in Tagalog, I mean, in Filipino. It is dubbed in Filipino. So they appreciate more the movie, right? Because of course there are still those that are not they have just reached a certain level of education, no? And they are not that familiar with English nga, and as they grow pa, it was not added pa na as the technology advanced. It so happened that we are reducing the use of English naman. Oh, loko eh. Kasi nasa labas yung isa kong camera. Okay, that is one of my camera is also live. We experienced that also in the province. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. That we have to. There are there were just this. How do we implemented or promoted the languages? It becomes so bungled and bonkers. Well, bonkers or bungled down, it becomes spaghetti. So anyway, let me continue. So where am I? I was disturbed, but that dog stayed there in the camera. As I was saying, where I stopped. I lost my train of thought, no? What was that? We are this radio stations, okay, okay, the implementation of the Filipino language, and then I lost my train of thought. So I lost it. Okay, never mind. We'll start somewhere else. 1986 Constitution, something. Yummy and cheesy biko with coffee. Wow! Oh, still biko. Oh, very nice. Oh, favorite food yan. Biko. So anyway, in the 80s, I said the momentum of the using Tagalog also was hijacked. Or in the 90s na lalo na. In the year 2000. Actually, there's a very huge from 1986 kasi yan eh. Okay, I was talking about those in the implementation of bilingual, right? In schools. So they increase also the subjects and the textbook. So the teachers have difficulty of teaching the students Tagalog, or because there's a usage of Tagalog and English. So dalawa yung So there was this confusion na rin agad doon, right? There was this confusion. Even the teachers are hard up. How they would be able to teach this in a certain, okay, in a certain way. Because it was introduced as bilingual. And then we were segregated for experimentation, I think, maybe, and how to develop that nga before. Because in our school, we have the regular section, meaning their curriculum in regular bilingual, so and so. And then we have this bilingual classes. So, section 1 bilingual, section 1 regular, something like that. Pangatlo ako ron eh. Hindi ko binabanggit na lang. So anyway, short of breath, Padre, exhale, inhale if you are tired. Katapos lang magsampay, full whitey na. Okay. Si Padre Damaso is done with his laundry. Okay, that's good. So, after the 1986 or the 87 na yun, of course there is more momentum. But again, I said the direction of where it was going towards the promotion of the Tagalog language, again, went into different direction because the elitism is maintained. No? That's why nauso yung Taglish. And the number one promoter of that is one of the daughters of the whoever became president after that. I don't want to mention their name. Actually, I understand her later because she grown up in the West. She grown up in the United States, and it's very difficult quite a while to adjust to pure Tagalog or pure Filipino. Sometimes you really have to use Taglish. And even the way she speak, because she's so popular that one, then it become one of the way of how to become social na naman, no? Pa-social. So that feeling of being social or being part of the elite came back. That is the one that I am emphasizing. That is the one that should be eliminated. We are not speaking English because we want to be part of the elite. We are not speaking Tagalog because we want to be the part of the purely nationalist something. No. Of course, it's better we speak our own for the purposes that we better understand our own. But we try to learn the skills of using English because in today's world, usage of English is now prevalent. No? Social media, here, you need to speak English sometimes. And what is the most important thing that I always use as a reason to lean on why I have to learn English is to gather information. I don't really care if I pronounce it right or wrong as long as I understand it because I will be only gathering information. What do you mean gathering information? Well, I want to learn something and it's written in English. How I would be able to learn it if I don't understand English? So what is important to me is just to understand it. I don't really care if I will be able to pronounce it correctly or not. Whether I correctly pronounce it, I don't have to talk to other people. I don't have to talk to English people. It's just I need it to gather information. So why would I focus on how I speak? Right? And of course, sometimes I always laugh at those people in the media or when they're trying very hard to be able to sound like the Westerners. My God, why are you trying very hard to sound like them? You don't need to. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't need to. Because we are just Filipino. We are just trying to understand. Why? Are they trying very hard to let us understand them? If you talk to them, would they be exerting that much effort that they will be understandable? Then why do we have to? One of the people that I used to communicate with before using English was so amazed at how I speak English. He said, "Where did you learn English?" Sabi ko, "And how did you learn English?" Sabi ko, English language is very easy. It's the easiest language to be learned in the world. It's not amazing to learn English. O di, barado siya. Why? Do you think learning English is hard? No. Ano siya? Oh, you can speak English. How did you learn it? How do you learn English? Learning English is very easy. It's not that really hard. You try to learn Tagalog. Ganun. Ganun. It's not that difficult to learn English. Sa kanya. It's one of the easiest language to learn in the world. So anyway, I will continue. So that came back. I was talking about this woman, right? I don't want to mention her name na or say bad things because she is now in a condition, that a precarious condition. She's not in good condition right now. So, but at the time, that's when the yun na nga, pa-social and so on. So if I say, excuse me if I do it in Tagalog na, bumalik yon. If that came back, no? Later on, actually, when I had a daughter that learned to speak English na in his younger years, because we stayed there somewhere else. Stayed there somewhere. And when she returned, trying to teach her to speak Tagalog, and said, now I understand her, no? The one that I'm talking about, the daughter, residential daughter, why she speaks that way, because it's very difficult nga naman talaga. However, because of their popularity, it was hijacked again to promote something else. Kasi your popularity is being pushed and your whatever is being pushed, so nobody is criticizes or explain it. It's just imitated that way, no? Mga pataglis-taglis and so social, bumalik, right? Which is not really the reason why you should speak English or to be member of that. No, that is a very shallow reason. That is very, very shallow. The only reason that we need to speak English is for, let's say, gather information, for economic reason. Most of us, the Philippines is also exporting people, OFWs. And of course, it will be far desirable if all these OFWs should be speak fluent English. Very amazing, right? Very advantageous to themselves and to the country. And you will gain more, because these people that we are going to, they feel superior always. So to guard it from that, it's better that you can speak it well. Or obviously, we cannot remove this superiority complex of some people. But now we are improving, and there is no more superiority like that. No? At this time, this word, I don't know because I've never been out, unlike before. So I am not able to observe actually the present time. I'm just maybe from watching movies, from watching the current news and situations, because you are now no longer discriminated because you cannot speak so and so, right? But still, of course, you still experience that. That's why OFWs, they are the front line. They are the frontline warriors of the Philippines. And that should be also propagated here. It should be understood by the lawmakers here or the people here in the Philippines that are frontline warriors are those OFWs, and they are bearing the brunt, no? They are bearing the brunt of any palpak here in the Philippines. The first people that would defend the integrity and the the Philippines are the OFWs, because they are the ones in contact with foreigners, and they will be asked anything that bad that happens here, anything that is not good that happens here. They are the ones that are facing they are the ones in the front line to defend the nation, right? Wanderlust 1, 2, 3. If you're still there listening, correct? That's why the OFWs, they are already kneeling. Ayusin nyo dyan sa Pilipinas. Hirap na kami rito sa ibang bansa. Depensahan kayo dyan. Did anyone think of it like that? That's why I'm very angry if palpak comes here na mga palpak na naman ng mga kung ano-anong pan, because the OFW will suffer. They are the ones there in the front line defending. I feel sleepy just here listening. We owe a lot on how our image is perceived abroad to the OFWs, because they are the frontline warriors. They are the ones in contact with the people that would see or not known, that have not known what is the Philippines. So anyway, let me continue about the language. So then, of course, because the public schools became focused on Tagalog, and then this was followed by televisions and radio stations in the year 2000s and so on until now. Everything now in the TV is in Tagalog, right? Programming is everything in Tagalog na. Even movies are dubbed into Tagalog. It is not na in the sense of promoting the Tagalog language, because it's more profitable. Why? Because of course, people will prefer watching Tagalog, right? They understand it better. And television, just like YouTube, relies on viewership. The more viewership, then the more kita. So it is no longer about promoting so and so. So everything now was changed into Tagalog and so. So there was this deterioration of Tagalog. Sometimes I'm shocked, and sometimes oh my God, what's going on here? Because when you are in line, paying the cashier in shopping, for example, in malls. It happened to me once that there was this foreigner in line in front of me, and the cashier has difficulty explaining to him that at the moment the credit card cannot be used because the machine is offline, and she cannot explain it to this foreigner. So I have to explain it to him. I help because she's been standing there for a while now, and he's arguing that his credit card is good and so and so. Yeah, there is nothing wrong with your credit card. The machine is offline, and she cannot use that. So he was asking where she can get cash, and the cashier has very difficulty trying to convey where she, so I help her out. I go, no, you can get the cash downstairs. There are a lot of ATMs there. You can get cash there. Just pay. Come back here and pay. Simple lang yun eh. And that incident, no? So I said, the deterioration of English is really, really terrible. cashier yon sa malaking mall dito sa Manila. I assume that the cashier had reached a level of education that English would be very, very easy. That's how the English has deteriorated, no? Nauso pa yung nosebleed. Kaya nga ngayon, when people listening in English, their nose are bleeding. Their nose are bleeding. Nosebleed na kami, nosebleed na. We are nosebleed. Before, when there is no nosebleed, it's just normal. You listen to English program, it's just normal. There's nothing about it. Yeah, that's why I was telling you nga, when you listen to FM station, there was no broadcast in Tagalog during that time in the 70s. Everything is in English. So how would you be able to nosebleed? Okay? So now they're trying to regain the proficiency of English, Filipino English. That's why this Solon or whoever this is now going to how would you say this, propose to ban. Of course, well, he's just one, no? He doesn't really have to ban now. It's very, very long to propose a law here, to pass a law here. It will take years for the law to pass, no? But of course, these ideas came about because they're just concerned that the proficiency of the people in speaking English is down. So that's what I am saying, is that we should find a reason, a very good reason why we should learn it. It is not, the reason is not to be a part of the elite, not to be a part of the higher end of the society that you can speak English. It is not something to do with you are very well educated and very, very knowledgeable or talino and something like that. It has nothing to do with that. It is just a tool that we need in this world today to be able to communicate with the world and to gather information. That's all. However, as a marketing strategy kasi, sometimes they use this, para ma-English so the schools and so on. So sometimes sabi ko nga, that's what I've been telling you, that sometimes all these good efforts are hijacked by marketing people, marketing strategists, and so on, right? Because even now, advertisements are spoken in Tagalog and English. They are more appealing and so on, something like that. But changes, we cannot really find out changes, right? So it takes a while. It will evolve. And of course, we have to control not control, no? We have to direct sometimes where are we going in our evolution. Because we are just the ones naman directing it. But sometimes the intended result is not as the way we have conceived it, how we intended it. You know, the result is not the way it was intended. So we have to adjust until we get it. So if people now understand that English is just a tool, and it is not about something to be accepted in a certain level of society, and then it's okay. right? It has nothing to do with being accepted, so and so. Okay, so I think that's it, no? Our lesson for today. I just thought of this Monday English because of this lawmaker, no? Proposing a ban of dubbing English movies here in the Philippines. I changed my way of speaking because the guests who can't understand our language, and I keep on maintaining them with my little English, so good enough. Day by day, and I'm improving. Yeah, okay. I'm here listening. So that's if you keep on, that's why we have to learn English now, and it's not to become acceptable in the society or so ever. No, that's the past, no? So speaking of the past, I will say something in English. Don't the ghost from the past, right? Don't be bothered by the ghost from the past. So anyway, don't let the ghost from the past make you lose faith in love. Surat nga natin yun. Ano yun? Malayo na yung narating na naman ni Mr. Rino. Mr. Rino, what was that? Okay, I'll repeat it. Don't let the ghost from the past make you lose faith in love. Sabi ko. Sorry, no English. Sorry. There are people that are a bit angry because in chat they want and they want to quander superiority. It seems that you have to adjust to them, no, instead of them trying themselves to adjust to the majority. They're speaking of democracy, right? Democracy. If you join a chat that is already in Tagalog, for example, and they are already speaking of Tagalog there, then if we practice democracy, majority wins, right? So who will adjust? Sorry, no English. Well, anyway, that is our one for today, topic for today. We are running to 2 hours and 34 minutes, so 26 more minutes. That's it. Okay, thank you for our English practice today, live Monday. Of course, I don't intend to do this every Monday, but maybe, why not, no? Why not? Every Monday is an English day. We start the day of the week speaking English so that it will be carry on until Friday. Just a little bit. It would linger. It will linger those, in your mind, it will linger around in your thoughts and mind, right? Because Nanay 19 is learning his English from singing the songs, from lyrics. So if you memorize a lot of songs, then you will be very good at English. Just like me, I learned my English in movies, right? So we just copy some phrases from the movies and so on, so. And then you copy it from there. So what you're going to do when you're practicing all your English lyrics, you memorize some of the phrases there, and then you just use it. Okay. So anyway, si Rose Stacy kanina, Rose Tasty was saying that in the chat, the English speaker was very angry because there are other people are using Tagalog and speaking speaking in the chat. Well, sometimes, okay, we speak in English because sometimes maybe the other side is he don't really speak English then, but he's trying to communicate to the world, and of course he has to speak English then, right? So that's the I don't know if I covered it thoroughly because I haven't prepared na naman nga, no? That's the always problem, eh. It's always impronto, eh. We don't really prepare a program, eh. Because we don't have writers, we don't have a script, So never mind, it's all right. And I hope I covered it in a way that we can pick some lessons from there, no? So the highlights is the introduction of bilingual in our formal education in 1974. And of course, in the 1987 Constitution, the use of Filipino as a national language, which is, the emphasis there should be, Tagalog is just the seed. So for us, Bisaya, and we want to add some more words there, and it will be later on, it will evolve that more words are included there from the Bisaya. We have to push the Bisayan words to be understood by everyone here in the Philippines. Kaya pangga. Something like that. Ako, baruto. Because Filipino is a melting pot of all Filipino languages, and the base is Tagalog. That's it. Okay. We can now go anywhere in our conversation because we are just finishing the live. Just 20 more minutes, okay? So the program is so if you have any clarifications or something that you didn't, because I a bit wondering, no, we don't have this direction on how to discuss it. I just go in pronto, so sometimes you go anywhere. So don't have a concrete direction. So anyway, let me put this here. Daming tao nagka-maintenance sa high blood dahil di ko paggamit ng CP. Ito damaso. Long time ago, si Padre Damaso, well, that's until very recently, wala pong cellphone yan. Ayaw na ayaw niya dyan sa Facebook and cellphone. And of course, yung sinasabi niya, maraming tao sa paligid niya nagkaroon ng high blood. Kasi, ano ngayon? There's a reversal. Well, a long time ago, I said to him na, you just use Facebook, you just use cell phone just to know the technology. You don't have to participate. It is just knowing, no? What are the available usage there? What are the available there? Because eventually, you will use it, eh. But you don't have to participate in Facebook. You post everything there and so on. So, no. And sometimes, actually, you can use Facebook to read the minds of people around you or those other people. You can have a bit of, you can, well, not really correct, no? Because, of course, you will see only the ones that they posted. But it will give you a hint on how their mind works. Dahil papalunok niya yung cellphone eh, long time ago. Papalunok niya pag may nakita siyang gumagamit ng cellphone, papalunok niya yan eh. Bukan mong lunukin ng cellphone. Bigat nun. Okay. So, that's it. So, palitan na natin yung headline, no? End na natin itong headline natin, no? English Today. I think I'm done with that. And I really don't know if I was able to deliver it in a manner of ano. Because it was not concise and understandable, eh. Or what, eh. We don't have the target na objective na understanding. Well, anyway, it's just breakdown, history, anecdotal stories. And you can just have, I just want to have a visualization, huh, on how we come about, why we are very poor in English today. It is because of this bungled implementations of how are we going to proceed on implementing the Filipino language as enshrined in 1974 Constitution, 1972 Constitution, as enshrined in 1987 Constitution. It was just implemented very recently in our history. And of course, mistakes are made, no? Mistakes are made and done. And for me, I mean, as I repeating, we should erase the connection that we are trying to learn English because we want to be a part of a higher end of the society or something like that. No. It is just a tool. Tapos nung araw, Padre Damaso pinipilit paggamit cellphone dahil hindi nga makontak eh. Ayaw eh. Kailangan na siyang kausapin. Hindi pwede. Wala. Ayaw kong gumamit na. Actually, ayaw niya lang yung tension. Kasi nga, pag may cellphone, madali ka nang makontak eh. Eh, puro tension yun. Wala mang lalabas doon na mabuti. Puro utos yun eh. Ito magandang topic din, oh. Mamaya magpayong na naman ako nito eh. Tapos na po yung ating programa na pagpa-practice kaya magsasalita na po akong Tagalog. Mag-e-end na tayo eh. 2 oras kalahati kung kagabi sana pagpupuyatan ko na ayusin eh. Sabi ko, bahala na bukas ulit, baya mo na. Pero kagabi ko pa yun naisip, sabi ko bukas English tayo, English practice English tayo. Ayun, ang basa ko nga sa balita eh. Ayusin ko sana yung materials para maganda yung diskusyon. Payong naman ako nito pag ito eh. Maganda talaga eh. Bakit? Payong talaga to. Tonto ako rito eh. So anyway, Wala pala yung isang ano, tawag dito, monitor. So, yan. Yan, nanay 19. Okay? Yan, malagi nang matutuwa dyan si nanay 19. Hindi na siya matatakot ma-inlove ulit. Kaya lang, yun na nga, napunta na naman siya dun sa, baka hindi na naman magandang ano. So anyway, anong oras na ba tayo? Pasalamat tayo ulit, no, sa ating mga sumali at nagsubaybay sa araw na ito. Sa ating broadcast ngayong Lunes, okay? At ating talakayan kung saan tayo ay nag-practice nga ng English Monday Live, okay? So, maraming salamat po, Wanderlust, pabigi-bigi at pakikinig, no? Maraming salamat sa inyo. Wanderlust 123, okay? And discarding nanay 19, okay? Ma'am Nolia, Ma'am Celine, okay? Rose Tasty, Daily Life, Blinker Eye, Marcy TV, okay, and Rose Tasty de la Per Orient, no? Per Orient TV, okay. Si Diwata ay hindi, wala naman din pangasa ko din, hindi ba? Mama Celine, okay. So maraming salamat sa inyo po. Blinker Eye, maraming salamat po, Blinker Eye, sa inyong pakikinig at pagsubaybay sa ating programa. Hindi ko na pong inaasahan na tayo makapagbigay ng mga solidong pagsusuri, no, sa mga ating pinag-uusapan, kundi ito ay parang kwento-kwento lang at yun nga sabi ko, huwag masyadong seryosohin. Yung iba dyan is maybe pwedeng pulutin, yung iba naman siguro hindi na. Kaya huli yata ako niya siya, Marites ba yan? Anyway, lagi ka kasi tulog sa gabi. Natutulog na, kaya hindi na ano. Hindi na ako kayo. So anyway. So yun, uli-ulitin ko nga, nawala ako. Maraming salamat po, okay? Maraming salamat sa pag-subaybay. At yun nga, sabi ko, hindi naman po tayo eksperto sa ating mga tinatalakay, kundi yan ay mga ating mga naoobserbahan, napapansin, nakikita, no? At nagbibigay lang tayo ng mga palagay-palagay, no? So it's not really that concrete one. But of course, maybe sana yung iba doon may makapulutan din. Kung hindi naman, it's something to start thinking about it, right? Ganun lang. It's just a seed. Yan ay parang punla lang na pwedeng namnam namin. Minsan, pwedeng yung iba dyan, pwedeng patubuin, right? There are things that okay naman, reasonable naman. Pwede natin patubuin. Bakit hindi? Tapos, kaya nga sabi ko sa inyo, before all my movements, there are some reasons behind it. For example, meron akong unang video nilabas. I don't really care what the people will say. Sabi nila, bakit Bisaya ito? Sana Tagalog. No? Sabi ko, ganyan lang yan. Bakit? So, hindi kasi yung intention is to gain the of course, para mag-gain tayo ng viewership and so on. So, lagyan mong English. Ulitin natin ni Kaptiago, mag-upload ka uli ng unique tulad ng Katuray para magugol na naman siya. Babasa ko yan po. Okay lang, dagdag kaalaman. Kaya nga, message po talaga siya. Mga, kasi mga ganun. So anyway, so ito lang po mga ginagawa natin dito ngayon sa YouTube eh. Well, the last few days, I'm trying to finish nga yung ating, I want to walk back to the project. Kaya lang, yun na nga eh, nalulost. Hindi naman nalulost, we are always taking some deviations. Especially na we have to maintain the viewership and maintain the so-and-so. So, my project cannot cope up with it. So anyway, we have to deviate in some other means to just be able to maintain the channel. So sabi ko nga, dapat alisin ko na yung 3D sa name ko. Palitan ko na ng mix yan. Then maybe I will shift to other channel where it's purely 3D lang, and then I will just let it linger doon because production is really slow. Minsan wala rin ako sa mood eh. Hindi man ako nagpo-produce, no? Bakit? Kasi nagpapayong ka kasi. Minsan binabaha ka ng luwa. Kuha ka na ng payong. So anyway. Love the song Love in the Wind. Maiksi lang yung Love in the Wind eh. Ano lyrics ng Love in the Wind? Ba yung ano? Tingnan ko nga. Wala pala. Ayaw mo na yung I can think of younger days when living for my life was everything a man could want to do. I could never see tomorrow. And the sorrow. Oh, how can you mend a broken heart? How can you stop the rain from falling down? How can you stop the sun from shining? What makes the world go round? How can you mend this broken man? How can a loser ever win? Please help me mend my broken heart and let me live again. Da 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 dan da 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 dan. Love in the Wind. Teka, hanapin natin yung Love in the Wind. Maiksi lang yun eh. Ang haba ng instrumental. Love in the Wind, lyrics. Lyrics lang. Love in the Wind. Wind of Love. Mali eh. Bakit wala? Lovers in the Wind. Hindi ano. Love in the Wind. Lovers in the Wind. Lyrics. Ba? Lovers in the Wind. Haba kasi ng ano nito, tawag dito. Lagyan ko muna ng ano. So, yung camera ko doon na overexposed na, no ha? Sandali. Ano ko muna kasi maano yung lente niyan. Lipat ko muna, sandali lang. Okay. So, yan na. Okay, anyway, we're going to end na po. Malapit mag-end na po. Oh, napukaw ang atensyon ko gabi sa kanta. Patulog na eh. O, kaya nga, hindi pa ano. Lovers in the Wind, no? Lovers in the Wind. Lovers in the Wind. Oh, yan, kinanta ni Babes kagabi. Nagising po si madiskarteng nanay at alas 3 na, hindi pa nakatulog. No? Kaya mamaya, puyat na naman yan. Ako, hindi rin talaga ako nakatulog kagabi dahil maaga ako natulog eh. 2 beses ako natulog eh. Pagkatas ng live ko, tulog ako. Gising ako ng mga alas 3 or something. Sabi ko, baka live na sila nanay 19 kila Tradis. Naabutan ko. Then, tulog ako ulit. Binigibijik lang yan. Dahil nigising na naman ako, gabi na. Kaya actually, yung, ano na yun eh. Tawag dito. Nakailang tulog na ako nun eh. Kaya nung gabi na, wala. And lagi akong bumabalikwas-balikwas. Dahil hindi ako makatulog eh. Time is always on the run. We've only just begun. Lovers in the wind. Life is all we have to share. You know we must take care. Lovers in the wind. Was a time when it was hard to know, reaching out for somewhere to go. The light born on the darkest day. No one wants to know. And no one wants to try. Yun pa yung lovers in the wind. Something like that. Kabutoy Urig, hello. Good morning. So, patapos na po tayo. No? Second to the last ng gabi, sabi ni Madiscarte na. Kabutoy Urig, how are you? Thank you very much. Okay. So, ito po. At tayo ay patapos na po. Kaya ito pa ending na tayo. At paalaman na po. Okay. Dahil as usual, we reach ang ating ang inaalot ko na oras, 3 hours. Sa ating live. Okay. Kaya lang, parang kulang lagi talaga yung 3 hours. Eh. Sarap kasi magkismisan dito. Yun nga sabi ko. Kaya hindi to makakatulog mamaya si madiskarting nanay. Bakit? Parang bitin eh. Ayaw na bitin. Ayaw ko mag-live. Wala akong ready na ano. Ayaw hindi ako makapag-live eh. Bakit? Bitin si nanay 19. Sabi ko, hindi pa makakatulog to. Wala man akong pang-live. Sabi ko, bakong pang-live. Sabi ko, mag-live kaya ako para ano. Maboritot ng makatulog na. Bakit? Ako hindi rin ako nakatulog. Alas 4 na. Hindi pa ako nakatulog. Ilang balik ako, ilang bangon. Ang haba ng tulog ko nung araw sa daytime. Tsaka sa early night time. Ilang beses ako bumalik. Wala akong ginawa kahapon. Tulog lang After live. So anyway. Kaya nung gabi, wala rin. Patay na. Sabi ko yung ano to hindi pa naiibsan yung ano ni madiskarting nanay na bitin. Bakit? Pa-end na si ano eh. Pa-end na si Babes Love eh. Hindi pa siya na hindi pa na ano yung ano niya eh. Natawa na nga ng tawa si Babes Love. Naantok na eh. Biglang na buhayan uli eh. Sabi ko patay. Matagal yan bago matulog ulit. Bakit? So anyway. tuloy mo lang. Tuloy lang sa kanya. Pang oras ka matulog na. Anong oras ka na? Ang tansya ko doon, mga alas 3 na siguro. De, hula ko lang pala. Hula ko. Bakit? Sa ganong tono ng kanyang huling mensahe doon sa live ni Babes Love. Alas 12 bago mag-12 nag-end si Babes Love eh. Bago siya nag-end siya before 12 eh. Tama-tama sana yun. Kung magla-live ako, wala akong na-prepare. Sabi ko, hindi man ako magla-live eh. Sabi ko saan. Sabi niya, mag-live ka na, Mang Wino, para makatulog ako. Sabi ko, hindi nga. Lalo kang hindi makakatulog pag nag-live ako. So, bayaan mo nang magbinalikwas ka dyan sa iyong higaan. Aray ko. 2 AM na puyat pa rin. Bakit? Biglang nabuhay yung kanya adrenaline eh. Patay. Sabi ko patay. Bago bago mapawi yan, mahaba-haba. Ako hindi talaga ako makatulog. Haba ng tulog ko eh. Ngayon, ilang araw na naman to na pwede. Dahil ilang sunod-sunod yun na hating gabi, tulog ako. So, nagbawi eh. Okay. So anyway, ito po, magandang tanghali po at tayo po yung magpapaalam muli, okay? Tayo po magpapaalam muli. Maraming salamat. Ayun, sabi ni Nanay 19, 2 AM, past 2 AM na daw siya. Tapos. So ako naman, ito, tatapusin natin. Okay? Maraming salamat po. At magtabi ka ng chocolate lagi. Lalong hindi makatulog. Yung chocolate sa gabi, di lalong hindi nakatulog. Sundan mo pa ng coco, patay na. So anyway, tayo po ay magpapaalam na rin at bukas naman ulit or titignan ko kung makagawa ko ulit ng midnight live. Kasi tinatarget ko ngayon matapos makapagpalabas ng video. Wala akong video eh. Wala akong maano eh. Natamad din ng kwan. Hindi pa kasi dumarating yung pin ko tapos pa yung sunod na problem kung ano. Bakit? Baka ganun din. Wala ring mangyari dito sa channel ko na ito. Baka sakali. I don't know. Tignan mo. Hindi naman. Wala naman. Bayaan mo na lang. Kaso, siyempre, wala na rin sana akong bang option. Paano ko makapag-ipon ng pambayad ng ano eh. Pambayad ng tawag dito. Caregiver later on. Okay. So, kaway-kaway na, okay. So, ending na po tayo. Ending na. Paalam na tayo. Ako po'y papasalamat. Okay. Nagpapasalamat po tayo sa ngalan nila Padre Damaso, Captain Tiago, ating mga co-pilot. Ako si Elias. Okay. At tayo po magkita-kita naman ulit sa inyong mga live at sa susunod nating mga live, no? Susunod na mga araw. Pansamantala po tayo nagpapaalam. Tayo po ay mag-iiwan ng isang pagbati. Magandang tanghali po sa inyong lahat. Sana po ang ating buong maghapon ay manatiling payapa, matiwasay, at siyempre po ay laging masaya. Ito po si Mang Wino. Okay. Pansamantalang magpapaalam. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Okay. Kabutoy Urig, Madiskaping Nanay, ulitin natin. Blinker Eye, okay? Wanderlust 123, at si Ma'am Celine, Per Oren TV, si Rose Tasty, okay? Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Marcy TV, maraming salamat. Okay. Bye-bye.